This is more like a tribute now. We lost, sadly, Peter Rufai in the last couple of days, and I want us to do this on the channel because I mean we know the Jota brothers also passed on, but this one hits home. Dodomayana died at the age of 61 after a brief illness. On the same day, the Jota brothers also sadly lost their lives as well. Now this is personal now to you. I want you to make this personal. Tell us about Peter Rufai. I mean, you're an OG. You watched him more during his days. What can you say? What can you say? You're old, older than me. Older than me. What can you say about Dodomayana, Peter Rufai, and what he's lead for as a legendary goalkeeper for the Super Eagles?
You know, when people you have met, been on projects with, done some work with, when they die, it's different from, I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't feel the hurt when Diego Jota and his brother died. You kind of like have a personal side. And then for me, who's been running around doing these memory chronicles of our legends,
quite a lot you've done.
Yeah, I've done quite a lot. And Peter Rufai, you know, my first knowledge of Peter Rufai was when he came to Warri. They played the match. I think it was, is it Stationary Stores or a team from Port Harcourt? I really can't remember the name of the team, but I know that Peter Rufai collapsed Warri Township Stadium. And then Peter Rufai used to have a girlfriend in the streets, Iroba Street, in the street behind our street. He used to drive a B2. And the reason why this is interesting is that he left the B2, like a car breaks down and he came, you know, and then he left the B2 there and then he went, right? And he didn't come to take away the B2 for a very long time. The car began to sink. We use it to play. You go and sit inside the car and be playing, driving with it like that for a very long time. Number 7 Roba Streets for Generator for Warri, if you know that area, back in the day when I was growing up, you know. And then I saw him in 1988, Maroc 88, Ojas 90. Was he in Ojas 90? No, I'm not sure. My memory serves me right on that one. But Senegal 92, and then, you know, the Tunisia 94, USA 94 World Cup, and then the Lago of France 98. Yeah. And then I came to Lagos. And one thing, you know, I started working in the media. I first met him one-on-one, like personally, at the stadium. I was still with Baba Nawa at the time. And then there was this meeting of old stars, players and supporters and all that. And I saw him, like, it was Dodomayana, it was Peter Rufai. You know, he walks with a bend, a kind of a swag. He walks with a swag, one bow leg, and then it's like, you think his back is a bit hunched from his, but the way he walks in with his hand, with his swag, I mean, that's Peter Rufai. You know, people in Lagos don't know how big these superstar footballers are to those of us who grew up outside of Lagos, because familiarity breeds contempt. You know, you don't really value them the way we do from afar. So it was Peter Rufai, Taiwo Oloyede, there was, you know, all these guys. Tarila Okorowanta was there at the time too. It's like, wow, Peter Rufai. You know, you start whispering. You forget whether you be club executive. Forget about your club executive. We're talking legend, you small rats who know you. You know, and I managed to, you know, sneaking. And in my usual way of, you know, I have my own way of getting in with big names. And I got Peter Rufai. You know, I shook his hand and I told him that I know him as Peter Jaja. That struck his attention. And he looked at me, put his hand around me. Oh, you know, you must know me. Like, I told him about Warri, about his B2, about his girlfriend, and, you know, shutting down Warri. I just said, oh, we laughed. I became very close. And from there, when I started working with Brilla, we speak with the stars. We meet with the biggest stars now. You know, Peter Rufai will come do analysis. And coincidentally, it was Peter Rufai's unavailability that opened the door for me to go to Brilla. On the 12th of August 2004, Peter Rufai was supposed to be in the studio with Ama Ignis. But, I mean, called in to say it's not going to be available. Something else came up. And Ama Ignis didn't want to be in the studio alone because Osondo Ngude was also not available because he had something to do at the National Stadium. So Ama Ignis now called me after I'd gone for audition in July and I failed it woefully. Bovey was also in that audition. We were not picked. And then Ama has been like, he's been with me in my Baba Nawa, 18 months in Baba Nawa. He was like one of the guys, and we always go to OJ's to eat together at National Stadium. Now called me that, oh, I should just come and stay with him in the studio so that it's not alone, it's not boring from that 12 to 6. So it was that day, that was my moment that put me in this field that I'm in. And we worked together, Coca-Cola project, we did the Cabell project together, we did the project at Green Springs School. You know, there's a lot of project that I did, side gig that I did with Peter Rufai, and that's why that's why I reacted like that in the group. Not necessarily because I was trying to shut people down. It was just touching to me because it's like the day I heard that Christian Chukwu had died. I'm not really that close to him, but I did that interview and he talked to me like grandfather to grandson kind of thing, admonished me. After the interview, we talked a lot, and then he kept sharing me messages, some very lovely messages, sending me messages and telling me how that interview has made people from US, Czechoslovakia, different parts of the world to call him and reach out to him. He's very grateful that I did it and I put it out on the platform that I put it out, and then the man died. It was sad. And then to wrap it up, Peter Rufai, another legend of the industry that we're in, Emeka Enyadike, had put me on a documentary project, and Peter Rufai was the top 3 talking heads before the others. It was Motia Adepoju, Peter Rufai, Victor Ekpeba first phase, and then we couldn't get to him on the phone, and we were just talking, maybe he's busy, maybe he lost his phone. We had all the 3 numbers, wasn't calling, wasn't picking, wasn't returning calls. And we just left it like that, like, don't worry, he would get back. Because I started saying, look, we always chat, and he always responds to my chat. So we talk a lot. We talk business. We talk about all things. How can Nigeria, he's always concerned about how Nigeria can go back to be better. That we shouldn't, Rufai was like, don't be talking about the class of 94, where we did great, but shouldn't we have people that are doing better? In 94, Brazil won the World Cup, but then Ronaldo, Kaká, Ronaldinho came in, and they did better in 2002. So we should be looking at that. That's what he always said to me. And it's gone now.
So what's the high moment for you as a footballer during his time, Peter Rufai? What's the point that got you fixated on him?
It was 1988, saving that penalty, because it was tensed, it was tension soaked, and he saved us, and it was a savior, it was a hero. It was a shootout, and from that moment, and then there are key moments again. When we qualified for the Nations Cup, the game that brought my greatest Super Eagles player, Sunday Olise, Nigeria versus Ethiopia, where we won 6-0. Peter Rufai scored the last goal. It was an era where you don't see goalkeeper score. I don't think I've seen any Nigerian goalkeeper score a goal. And Peter Rufai, we won the penalty. Peter Rufai walked in and scored that penalty. It was sweet. It was lovely. It was nice. And then me meeting him, we walking together, getting to know him, getting to ask him questions, personal questions, family. Why did he change your name from Jaja to this? What's happening? Peter Rufai is as popular, as big as he is a mystery man. Grow up thinking Peter Rufai is an Ijaw man. Then somewhere is from Badagry. Then somewhere is from this. There's a whole mystery around the guy. And I kind of first off, I like being mysterious. One of the sweetest things that I've had is that nobody know me. And everybody would think they know me, don't know me. So it's very sweet. I like that. And Peter Rufai was that kind of guy. He was Jason Bourne in my own eye. It's like, he was just a different guy. And then when you look at his catalog, you see him from if you've watched Coming to America, the part 1, the Lisa's first boyfriend before Eddie Murphy, that coily hair, that Jericho hair. Yeah. Peter Rufai made it famous. He used to have it like Rene Greater, and then he went to the punk, the Bishop punk, and then to the low cut and all that. I saw all those faces, and I've seen quite a lot of interviews. I remember speaking with Clement Wessaf when he talked about the character that Peter Rufai is, the kind of person, and he talked about some moments where come on, Peter Rufai is an enigma. He's in a class all by himself. And so when I see all that goalkeepers having attitude, having what we call attitude now is personal. The thing about attitude is, if you're not backing it with results, it's seen as attitude. If you back it with results, you have a persona, you have character. But if you're not backing it with results, it's you have a bad attitude. So Rufai was all that in one. And no matter the fights with coaches or players, he was going to come on and do his job. Yes, God.
Well, at the age of 61, it's safe to say it's life well lived.
Yeah.
He played a whole lot for the Super Eagles in top competitions, top tournaments, the World Cup, the AFCON. And now
I won the AFCON.
Won the AFCON as well. So, I mean,
gold, silver, and bronze. Had it all.
Always going to be always going to be
conquered.
legendary. You know, even now that he's no more with us. So sad one. We hope that the family will have the fortitude to bear the loss. It's just, I mean, and the sad reality about all this is life goes on. You just have to move on. You
know the thing that
you might not be forgotten.
When person die, you know what I
on.
hate to hear people when people say one word and it caused a problem when my mom died. Say she's going to be in a better place, and I told it was wrong of me to say that, but I was in pain. I said, it's easy for you to say now. Your parents are alive. Let them die and go to that better place. Are you people afraid of dying and going to that better place? But it was in front of a lot of people. You know, it was a service of song for my mom, and one woman came and said that thing. And people always say that. But like you said, life goes on. People will leave.
Yeah, we hope he continues to rest in peace wherever he is. The legendary Dodomayana Peter Rufai.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.